Hello, welcome back to my channel. It's been a little while since I made a video. Let's have a little catch up, shall we? On a run. So let's get cracking and I'll catch you once I get up this massive hill I'm about to run. So yes, where have I been for the last 2 years? Well, I've still been running, I just haven't really been making any videos. I've actually got myself a brand new GoPro Max 2, so today is testing this out. So yeah, I'm not sure what actually it does and how I'm gonna edit these videos, but I guess we'll just see. So yeah, where have I been? Let's have a little catch up. So with regards to running, I've still been running. I've obviously taken a few days off here and there, any operations or anything like that, but yeah, other than that I've been running. Last year in 2025 I got PBs everywhere. From 5k I managed to dip under 21 minutes twice, 2 weeks in a row, and then I never managed to do that until last weekend, funnily enough. But yeah, my official 5k parkrun PB is 20:51. Then I also managed to do a 5 miler, which I've never done before, but thought would be quite fun to do. I wasn't happy with the time, so I think I'll do another one this year. I think it ended up being 35 or 36. I think I just went up a little bit too quickly at maybe like a 5k pace than a 5 miler pace. But yeah, that's that. Then with the 10k I managed to get so close twice in a row. 44:20, 44:21, and then in September I managed to break that into the 43s, which I was so happy about. Then we get onto the half marathon, which is, I got down to 1 hour 40 minutes and 24 seconds. I was actually lucky enough to get paced by Harry, who runs the Jog On YouTube channel, Facebook and everything. So I managed to blag him to pace me to that, which I'm very happy about. And that's the last half marathon I'd run since. Then we get onto the big one, the marathon. I was on course for a sub 3:30, but I got to 18 miles and the wheels fell off. Everything was hurting. The weather was roasting. I think it was either the second or third hottest London marathon on record. So I actually managed to, yes, it wasn't the time I wanted, but it was a PB, and managed to get 3 hours 37 minutes, which was about just under 3-minute PB. So I was really chuffed with that, even though it was absolutely roasting. But that's where it was last year. So let's come to this year, which is 2026. I've only done properly one real race, which was a 20 miler, a build up to the London Marathon, which is in, I think, just under 2 weeks. So I'm really excited about that. My training's going perfect. So let's get back onto that 20 miler. I did the first half easy, well, it's easy pace, as you say, and then picked it up in the second half, and I managed to sort of properly, in my first race, negative split, where I was 5 minutes quicker in that second half than I was in the first. and I managed to come in. Actually, I don't know what my time was, so I'll just stick it down here and you can see, so I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, it was a great race. I was really happy and it spurred me on to where I am today. So we'll go down a bit further down the road and we'll chat about what I want to do for London.
She moves like a map with no borders, a whisper caught in the wind. I see her boots at the corner.
So it's Czech Marathon 2026. What are my goals and how do I want to do this? So I've actually, lucky enough, managed to bag myself a spot on the Jog On marathon course, and we're going through each week by week about marathon, how to plan it, tapering, blah 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 blah, X, Y and Z, which has been absolutely phenomenal. And I feel like I'm probably in the best shape of my life because of that. And also I've also got myself a running coach as well, Louise Small. Couldn't thank her enough for everything she's done for me in the last year with getting me all those PBs. Well, not getting me those PBs, but giving me training plans and everything like that. She's incredible. But yeah, anyway, sidetracking. So this year, London Marathon, my real goal, or my A goal really, is to try and get under that 3:30 mark. Whether that's going to happen, I don't know. I guess it just depends on the weather and how I take the first half, and I don't want to go off too quickly, which is what I've done previously and known to do in pretty much every race. And I think it's because I put pressure on myself. I tell people this is what I want to do and I want to go and do it and smash it, but I just need to calm down. So that's the A goal. The B goal, probably more sustainable, is sub 3:38, which would be, so about 2 minutes off last year's time, which would be great. And then my C goal would be obviously just completing it with no injuries, but get under 3:37, beating my time from last year. So after the marathon is done, I decided to book a half marathon a week later. So I'm going to just take that as nice and easy, probably like a recovery run towards that half marathon. So there's no goal for that one. Then I've got myself a couple of 10Ks that I do every year. The Vitality, the Saucony. So those two are always number one on the list for the following year. So as soon as they come out, I book them because they're great races in London and not far from me. I've also booked later on in the year another half marathon in St Albans, where the last time I ran it, probably over 10 years ago now, so I was always scared to do it because it's so hilly, which is the St Albans half. Very hilly, usually very hot, which is why they give out lollipops at the end, which is the only reason why people do it. Well, they don't, but it's an incentive. So that's what I think one of my big races is going to be, is that one. Plus I managed to finally, after so many years, is get myself into the big half, which is September, which is a lot of the London Marathon course but backwards. I've always wanted to do it, but never quick enough to buy a ticket or entry for it. So that's what I've decided to do. Managed to get in there early and get myself an entry.
Feet pounding on the ground, heart's a drumbeat.
So that's basically it today from what's been going on to what's coming up. So yeah, if you enjoyed this, I'm going to put some more content out as previously, so I'm back on the YouTube scene. So if you don't mind subscribing, sharing, I will see you on the next one.